We went to Oktoberfest a few years ago in Munich, and we went on the very final weekend that it was going.
Ein Prosit, der Gemütlichkeit.
If you haven't seen our video about Oktoberfest, go check that out now. It gets real sloppy. So if you want to go to Oktoberfest and not be what is called a Bier Corpse at Oktoberfest, like we were, follow this video and you should have a better time.
Tip number 1, don't pregame. This is a drinking festival. Drinking festival, there's beer everywhere inside. You have zero reason to pregame before going to this event.
We had the idea to pregame because that's kind of what you do here in America when you go out bar hopping, is like, oh, you'll pregame so you don't have to buy as much beer or as much alcohol when you go out to the bars. The problem with that is this is a drinking festival. You go to this festival to drink. So pre-gaming is doing the opposite of what you need to do. It will not prevent you from buying additional beers. It will only get you more drunk. So tip number 2, don't worry about your place in the table. This was something that we stressed about a lot. We wanted to get there early, get a table so we could get right in the middle of the action. Once it gets going, you stand up on the tables and you sing and you drink with everybody. And that is a quintessential part of the Oktoberfest experience. However, it's not the only part. There are 14 different tents throughout the entire Oktoberfest in Munich specifically.
Yeah, there's an entire family-friendly festival going on outside of these tents. Don't miss out on that. There are tons of games, activities, rides, and food, which leads us into our next point. Tip number 3, make sure you eat something. This is kind of a no-brainer, hopefully, for anyone who's had more than just a beer, but there's so much food outside of the tent to try. You're in another country, like, you have to take advantage of that, and for your own safety as well. It's just better to eat something.
Exactly. So there's plenty of food outside the tents, and this kind of goes back to our last point. Don't be afraid to get up and leave the tents. Inside the tents, they do serve food, but it's mostly like small things like pretzels and stuff. So if you want to get a real meal, go outside. There's plenty of stuff to soak up that alcohol. Tip number 4, pace yourself. Our mistake was not remembering that this is a drinking festival. You're there to drink. So one of the biggest problems is that you get served liters of beer, a whole liter of beer. Each of the 14 breweries brew beer specifically for Oktoberfest, and they're pretty strong. They're like 7 or 8% per beer. So you're taking down a liter of 7 to 8% alcohol. The nice thing is they have something called a radler, which is kind of like a shandy, and it's so much lighter. It's so much less alcohol percentage. If you order a radler, you're going to be able to consume less alcohol, because the problem is you're not going to be able to drink less. You're just going to drink less alcohol.
The percentage will be lower. The quantity of what you're drinking is still going to be the same.
And that was another problem that we ran into. We thought like, whatever, we'll just sip on our beers and it'll be fine.
Oh.
No, because that leads us into tip number 5.
Ein Prosit, Ein Prosit. Tip number 5, save yourself all the trouble and take small sips when that evil song comes on, because it's seriously every 10 minutes when you're up in the tents and you're on the tables and everyone's singing and dancing, they play this song that basically you cheers every single time.
Yeah.
And you have to drink.
The crazy thing about that song, apparently, is that every Ein Prosit, 500 liters of beer gets drank all at once, because everybody's drinking. So try your best at these times to sip very lightly, because it is a mandatory time to drink, and it's seriously like every 3 or 4 songs is an Ein Prosit.
The final tip number 6, is drink water. This is something that we totally did not even think of going to Oktoberfest. Like, your sights are set on drinking beer. Like, you're in Germany, you're a part of this huge celebration, and you get caught up in the moment of it. You have to remember to hydrate before, during, and after, because seriously, the hangover is not worth forgetting. So take care of yourself, go to this festival, have a blast, but do so responsibly. Do not do what we did and completely throw caution to the wind and regret everything the next week.
Bonus tip, train before you go to Oktoberfest. Seriously, if you don't drink before, months before you go to Oktoberfest. It was kind of an accidental mistake for us. We were in Morocco for a whole month before we went to Oktoberfest, so there was no alcohol around, so our tolerance was just obliterated. So be sure, if you don't drink very often,
Practice.
Do that.
To practice.
Build up your
Please,
tolerance.
please.
Because the people around us, when we had like our 3rd, 4th liter of beer, we're like, yeah, what are you on? They're like, oh, I don't know, like 6 or 7 liters.
They're pros.
They're pros, so try and build up your tolerance so you can drink with the best of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully these tips help you have a great and not too sloppy Oktoberfest. If you're screaming at us and we missed a tip that is essential to Oktoberfest, please let us know your experiences in the comments below.
We've got lots of videos like this coming out. Hopefully you can learn from all of our mistakes abroad. If travel is something you're into, if you like this kind of content, please like the video. It's very helpful to us, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, because all of that is coming your way.
Prost!